My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Moon. And this will be a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen it, go and watch it, then come back and watch this review because I will be going in depth. Now, this is a movie that when I first saw it, like a decade ago, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, I thought it was emotional, and it was one movie that I really did love, but I haven't watched it in such a long time, so I was curious to see what I would think about it this time, and unfortunately, I do not think this movie is as good as people say, and I don't think it's as good as I once thought it was. That's not to say it's a bad movie, it's fine, but it's lacking in so many departments. But let's begin talking about the cast, first with Sam Rockwell, who plays two different versions of the same character, and he does great here. You're able to tell the two different versions apart just based on what he brings to each different version of himself. And I think the effects were really impressive in that regard. And I love how he starts to get more and more sick as the movie progresses. You truly see it, you truly feel it. So I thought he's great in this movie. Then you've got Kevin Spacey, who's a despicable human being, but he's still a very good actor. And you see that here. I think his voice was perfect for this robot, and he's able to bring it a lot of personality. You've also got Dominic McElligott, the actress who plays Queen Mauve in The Boys. She plays Tess, Sam's wife, and this is such an important role. We don't see her a lot in this movie, but I wish she brought more to it. I wish there was something about her character that really stood out because there was just nothing special in that short time we see her. We've also got Carla Scuderia, who plays the main character in the movie Cross, so I like this actress. And she's fine in the movie. She's in it for like 2 minutes, and maybe I wish they gave her a bit more to work with, but still fine. So there was that, and I do think this movie is well directed on a visual level. The production design is impressive. Like I said, the visual effects are good, the sound's good, so you've got all that going for it. But the real strength of this movie lies within its ideas. The story of a man who is looking forward to going home to be with his wife and with his daughter, who has plenty of regrets over life, who realizes that he's just a clone and all of those feelings have been programmed into him. Like, what if every memory you have, every regret was just not even real? Like, how would that hit you? And you just feel the emptiness and the loss that would fill you with. And you really do feel the weight of all those emotions. You know, there's that one scene where he's calling his daughter and he's talking to her and he finds out his wife is dead and that the real Sam is there on Earth and that he's just a clone and that he has no real life and that he has nothing to look forward to now. And that, like, he's just left with this grief. And I found that to be a very powerful moment. I do like the music in this movie. It's overly sentimental, it's overly cheesy, but I think it's necessary for the emotions it's going for. So I do like all that, but my biggest issue is that this movie just doesn't have a real story. Like, you've got these clones discovering their clones, and then that's really it. There's not a lot to keep this movie going. There's not a lot of momentum to these characters or this story. It just kind of feels stagnant after a little while. Like, you've got a lot of great ideas there, but do something with them. And you've got him discovering what's really going on, but it's just so drawn out and just nothing happens for a large amount of this movie. And it just really bums me out because you can see greatness here. There's great ideas, great moments, some real emotion, but without a proper story to carry all of that, it just doesn't quite work as much as it should. I do think one thing this movie is severely lacking is some form of conflict. You know, if Goldie... I know everything I'm about to say does sound cliche, but you could have brought some new layers or depth to it. If Goldie turns on Sam, that could have been really exciting. Or if the two clones kind of start to get into it with each other for who gets to go back to Earth, that could have been really interesting. And yes, I understand that it's somewhat showcasing restraint to not give us that kind of plot, but we just have nothing instead of it. There's no substitute. It's just guy discovers he's cloned for an hour and a half, and that's it. It's like, just need a bit more zeal. And the whole ship at the end coming to pick up the one dead Sam just makes zero sense to me, because if they're sending this one guy to work on the moon all the time and they just got all these bodies, why would you waste resources to go pick up another one? Like, why not just program Gordy to bury it under the moon, or to just dispose of it another way, or incinerate it? It doesn't make sense that they would come pick the body, and I really had no investment in them going back to Earth, because it's just like, and in some ways it'd be better if there was no ship coming, because then you really feel like they're just stuck with no other options. And here you've got the ship, and it's just like, well, he gets to Earth, and then what? It just, it just wouldn't get past that. So it just doesn't work for me. It's artificial tension that doesn't work. And I do actually think some of the editing is really bad in this movie. Like, the way some scenes transition from one to the next feels very choppy. The fade outs and the fade ins happening time and time again feels a bit amateurish. So I do love lots of what this movie is trying to do. I think Sam Rockwell is great. There is some real emotion here. I like some of the ideas it's going for. It's got good production design and everything, but it's just lacking in a real story. I needed more happening here. I needed something to carry this idea and these characters forward in interesting ways, because this movie just doesn't move at an exciting pace, and it just feels way too drawn out, and maybe should have been best left a short film or have had some stuff added to it. So I also do like the whole idea that if you stop and think about it, you can also think that it's a commentary on how big corporations treat you. You're there, you dedicate so much of your life to it, and then they'll just leave you for death if they need to. So I do like some of that. But anyways, I'm kind of torn between a 5.5 and a 6, because I do love so much what this movie's going for, but will I watch it again within the next 10-20 years? I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and give Moon a 5.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Moon? If not, just look up at night. It's right there. But let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out. That was a really pathetic snap. Gavin out.